High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Regular season football. It's Lynbrook and Cold Spring Harbor, both teams coming in at 4-2. Interestingly, they both lost to the same two teams, Plainage as well as Seaford. And you've got Cold Spring Harbor coming in on a 3-game winning streak. Lynbrook has dropped 2 of its last 3 after starting off 3-0 as we get ready to square off and inch closer to kickoff here in Cold Spring Harbor, New York. Lance Meadow, Kevin Dolan with you here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Similar results, as I just mentioned, Kevin, in terms of what these two teams have gone through over the course of the first 6 games. But it's a Lynbrook team that has some youth, has some inexperience, starting to get its act together. And meanwhile, Cold Spring Harbor only surrendered 19 points in its last 3 games.
You know, it's a very interesting matchup we have here today, Lance. And it's two teams that have replaced a lot of kids from last year, a lot of seniors who are starting for the first time this year. And at the beginning of the season, both coaches, Coach Madreski and Coach Yaker, concerned about how quickly will these guys come along. Well, I got to be honest with you, as a former coach, we're in week 7. These kids are ready to play. These guys are seasoned starters now, and I think we're going to see a really, really interesting matchup between 2 4-2 teams.
So let's take you through the impact players to watch over the course of this contest. And for Lynbrook, you're talking about a great deal of size and athleticism with respect to their receiving core. As we look at Uji Ago, he has been their top wideout with over 500 receiving yards. He's 3rd in the county in that department. Marco Pileski, team high 54 tackles and 3 sacks. He's Mr. Do-It-All, as their linebackers have been interchangeable over the course of the season. We flip the script. We look at Cold Spring Harbor's impact players. Chase Cody is their top rusher with 523 yards, 7 touchdowns. And then Roy Testa, team high 23.5 tackles. They call him a firecracker because he seems to be everywhere on the field. So those are the 4 players to watch coming in to this contest. Now let's get to the keys to today's game. And we had an opportunity to catch up with both coaches, David Yaker and John Mandreski. And Kevin, I'll let you take it from here.
You know, from the Lynbrook point of view, it's always the same. Ball security. They have so many dynamic athletes. They want as many chances as possible to take shots at the end zone. It all begins and ends on the offensive and defensive line, and that physicality is there. And I think for the other thing for Lynbrook, speaking to Dave Yaker, you know, they've had too many ups and downs this season. They need to maintain their composure and be consistent. Over here on the Cold Spring Harbor side, stop this quarterback. Keep him in the bag, all right, as well as defending over the top. But they can't forget about those other dynamic players that they have out there on the field. Last but not least, don't give their offense, the Lynbrook offense, chances to take any free punches at you. You got to get them off the field and hold the ball.
And Cold Spring Harbor doesn't have nearly as many players as Lynbrook when you look at the size of the roster. So that forces a lot of two-way players with respect to the Seahawks in terms of offense as well as defense. As we look at the Week 7 Nassau County football standings, and you see both teams with identical 4-2 marks. So this is really a critical game from both sides of the equation, and given the fact that they've had similar setbacks to both Plain Edge as well as Seaford. And last week, Lynbrook played at Seaford. Remarkably, they had 2 punts blocked and were returned for touchdowns.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, the score of that game is not indicative of how that game was played. That was a highly, highly competitive game. And you know what? In those big games, it's hard to recover from the big events, especially on special teams, like a punt block, like that timely scoop and score, those types of things. It puts you behind the 8 ball.
David Yeager has been coaching for over 3 decades. He says, Kevin, 2 times in one game, he said prior to that, hadn't happened once in the course of his career.
Yeah. You know what? Just a quick note on David. I started my career at Lynbrook High School for my first 10 years, and David was our quarterback, comes from a huge football family.
Well, we'll get more into your connections and the 6 degrees of Kevin Dolan as we move forward here in Cold Spring Harbor, New York. We'll step aside, approaching kickoff right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
So here are both head coaches for Lynbrook as well as Cold Spring Harbor. You see David Yeager on the left, John Mendresky on the right. Mendresky in his 10th season with the Seahawks. He's been here since 2016. Yeager in his 4th season, 2022 to the present. And this is a special group, Kevin, for Yeager because he took over when all of these seniors were freshmen, so he's really seen this team grow up.
Yeah, it's a lot of relationship out here. And, you know, as I was saying before about Dave Yeager, he is a guy who knows about relationships. He was brought up, his dad was the head football coach at Brooklyn College, outstanding football man. And it was my pleasure to be associated with the family for 10 years at Lynbrook High School. On the other side, there are 2 coaches out here, Mike Pasquello, an assistant with Cold Spring Harbor, and Chris Pasquello, his brother, is an assistant over at Lynbrook. So a lot of great blood out here.
As we are gearing up here for the opening coin toss between Cold Spring Harbor and Lynbrook. And the Seahawks have won the toss. And they will be kicking off. They have elected to defer.
Cold Spring Harbor wins the toss. They will defer until the second half.
So we'll see Lynbrook get the ball first in this contest, and this will be an opportunity for them to bounce back. You mentioned the score, Kevin, in that Seaford game, 49-28, doesn't necessarily truly reflect how competitive it was.
No, it was just a great competitive game. You know, what Cold Spring Harbor is concerned about today, or I believe they're concerned about, is the explosive nature of Lynbrook. You've got, just like Cold Spring, you've got a lot of those 4-star and 5-star lacrosse players bouncing around out there. And those kids, I made a living on those kids at Chaminade High School. Those kids are capable of really turning a game around. On the other side, you have a bunch of kids here at Cold Spring Harbor that are coming back from an extremely successful team from last year. They know what's required to win in these big games. Lance, I think you and your smoky voice today, me and my Barry White tone, I think we're going to be here for a great one.
Sounds good to me, as both teams taking back to the field here for the opening kickoff. And Cold Spring Harbor leans on Ben Stark, who is their tight end. He's their punter, he's their kickoff artist, and he's their place kicker. He does everything. He's a Renaissance man. They love his foot, and he is looking to kick on the next level, even though he does contribute on the offensive end. So Stark will be kicking off, number 88. And Lynbrook with a variety of different return men, including Brandon Scala, Paolo Pileski, and Thomas Potash.
It's always interesting in these smaller schools, Cold Spring Harbor, East Rockaway, Floral Park, how many roles your best players have to take on. You know, you don't have the luxury of saying, hey, kid, you're a kicker, or hey, kid, you're a quarterback and nothing else. You know, you become a jack of all trades.
Got to wear many hats here as we are underway, and a ground ball is going to go the way of Scala, and Scala is going to try to make something out of this as he goes to the far side of the field, and he's tripped up. A nice open field tackle there by Jack Willihan.
Turn for the Owls, number 11, Brandon Scala. Stopped by Cold Spring
As we
Harbor,
take a look at the starting quarterback for the Owls, Chase Samuelson. Completions, you see his numbers as well as his yardage. He has been extremely impressive this season with 572 rushing yards. That puts him 17th in the county. He's a dual threat quarterback, and he has thrown for over 1,300 yards with 13 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. This is the challenge for Cold Spring Harbor, to keep him in check. As the Owls coming out with their quarterback on a keeper, trying to find that edge, and unsuccessful. A minimal gain on first down.
I love in our preparation this week, Lance, I love how you described him to me as Baker Mayfield-esque, and that's exactly right. This young man is a highly trained kid. He is a veteran of some of the wars of high school football.
As we look at the Lynbrook starting offense, they have had to move some players around up front because they're down their left tackle, Caden Rogers, and they've got a hole, and their running game is off to a very strong start out across the 45-yard line. That's Michael Potash, who has a team-high 50 carries this season. As we look at the Cold Spring Harbor starting defense, Alex Vitale is quite the two-way player for them. Jaden Saunders, a second-year starting linebacker, and Roy Testa, who does a little bit of everything. And he is committed to play lacrosse at Johns Hopkins University as they go back to the run, and they'll get across midfield with the push. As that was Michael Potash on the carry.
Mike Potash, you know, Lynbrook is a very generational, legacy-driven athletic program. Families stay around. His older brother was one of the great lacrosse players at Lynbrook High School.
And it looks like a player jumped, and that is going to be offsides on Cold Spring Harbor.
You know, it's funny, Lance, as we say every week, you know, these are the bugs that the kids got to get out of their system. It's a beautiful day. It's an exciting day. This is a really important football game. Now they got to settle down, make sure we don't make those mistakes.
That was Lucas Sliwak, their defensive tackle, who jumped a little too soon. So 2nd and 2 here, and Potash is going to wiggle his way for a first down, as that is his 3rd carry of the game thus far.
Boy, we're seeing number 66, Giovanni Gruhan, and number 79, Cap Mason, really getting a tremendous amount of push here on Cold Spring Harbor. Cap is, as you had schooled me up during a week, Cap is one of the kids that leads the show up there in that offensive line group. A group that this is their first season really working together.
And it is one of the strengths of this unit, according to David Yeager, as the ball comes loose. And they're going to say Cold Spring Harbor has jumped on top of it for an early takeaway after they were rolling with the run game. So how about the Seahawks with an opportunistic play to change field positioning and flip the script of this game as they tried to get the edge out here. And that was coughing up the football, Brandon Scala, who they utilized as a wide receiver out of the backfield.
Yeah, and you know what? I'd love to point out one of the Cold Spring Harbor players that made that happen, but it was 4 of them. Gang tackling, people getting to the football. That's the stuff that rises, that makes for big moments. A lot of this now on the shoulders of Rex O'Connor. Let's see what this young man has done. He's got a lot of games under his belt this season.
The senior who's coming in with 4 touchdowns against 2 interceptions, and they go to the ground right out of the gates, and not much penetration off the right side of the offensive line for Chase Cody. As we look at Rex O'Connor's numbers on the season, not as big of a threat to run as Samuelson, but he does have a touchdown on the season and can extend plays. This is his first year as the starter. Last year he was backing up a 3-year starter and made 1 start against Locust Valley.
You know, in a battle of these lines, offensive line versus defensive line, Lynbrook's got them outsized, but I would say about Cold Spring Harbor, they're not small. They are definitely big enough.
As O'Connor tries to go towards the near side and throws the ball out of play. As we look at the starting offense for Cold Spring Harbor, their offensive line, they go with 2 juniors and 3 seniors. Chase Cody, who is their lightning quick, shifty back, and you'll see Jack Wheelahan, their top wide receiver, G. Pace, and Dylan Riley, who is back after he took last year off to just play lacrosse. So 3rd and 8 here for the Seahawks, trying to extend this drive off the takeaway, and they're going to go out wide with a handoff to Cody, and Cody trying to find the edge, and he was met by Chris Somers and Marco Pileski, pushed out of play. As we take a glance at the Lynbrook defense, and they've got plenty of experience up front with a pair of juniors in R.J. Tignes and Alex Ianu. Then you look at their linebackers. We mentioned Pileski and Somers just made the play, and in the secondary, Paolo Pileski is a true 2-way player, wide receiver and corner / running back, and Thomas Potash balances out that cornerback position.
Big play right here, Lance. You know, Coach Madreski has talked about not giving that Lynbrook offense a lot of opportunities to take shots at them. He's going to need to make decisions like this throughout the entire day.
And this is going to move the chains as they just tried to snuggle it right up the middle, and that did enough for the push to reset the clock here with 8:37 to go.
Great job on this play. Look at the push that we're getting, and that was my point earlier. This Cold Spring Harbor line, they don't have, they're outweighed by about 20, 25 pounds across the board, but they're athletic kids, and they're not small. Sometimes you make up for that athleticism in that group.
So a fresh set of downs, and Cody goes low and is pushed back. They're going to give him about a yard on the play.
Boy, we're seeing a lot of different looks at a Cold Spring Harbor. We've seen a little bit of the wing look, the single wing look. We've seen a little bit of eye. Just saw some wishbone right there. You know, they're trying to get that Lynbrook defense to spend more time thinking about defending and not reacting. And it's everything is going to be that little edge in this nip and tuck game.
So a Cold Spring Harbor team that comes in averaging 23.5 points per game, looking to get on the board first after the fumble recovery from Scala. And again, looking to get a push up the middle, and that Lynbrook defensive front just denying Jaden Saunders any wiggle room, who's second on the team in carries and rushing yards.
Very interesting, though. The Cold Spring is chipping away at Lynbrook right now, and that is the 6th different formation we've seen in 6 plays. We just saw a power eye with 2 tight ends.
Well, and they have the personnel to mix in. Roy Testa also is a fullback / running back that they utilize out of the backfield. As Rex O'Connor has another 3rd down that he faces here with 5 yards to go.
You know, the job of Rex right now and these running backs is make this 2-down territory. I don't think it is right now.
And they hand it off again to Saunders, and Saunders is eaten alive. Tony Lasry wrapped him up and brought him down.
This is a difficult down to go for it. You know, the pass game and play-action pass game is very predictable, and it's a lot of ground to make up on the ground game. Looks like we're seeing the punt team come out.
So we're going to see Ben Stark try to flip the field here, as Lynbrook's defense did its job making sure that the Seahawks could not capitalize off of the early takeaway.
I have a feeling, Lance, we're going to see a bit of a hard count here. A jump by Lynbrook could result in a 1st down.
And Stark is going to just get it off cleanly, but this is a fly ball that doesn't have much distance, and it is going to take a Seahawks bounce inside the 30, which is where Lynbrook's offense will take over, as the Owls trying to take command of this game after they were moving the ball on the ground but wound up coughing it up.
First time I'm seeing the Owls this season, Lance, and it was interesting to me how they are very, very fast out of that huddle. They're trying to dig into that kind of that thin roster that Cold Spring Harbor has and get into their gas tank. Let's see how long Lynbrook can maintain it.
So Samuelson operating with Potash, and Potash up the left sideline will pick up a few yards en route to the 35.
Nice read here by Chase. This is a true RPO play. He's reading that Cold Spring Harbor defensive end. He could have pulled that ball, but Chase, as athletic as he is, he knows how to play the game. Beautiful give to Potash.
Chase always a threat to run himself on every single play as they utilize him in the run game. He is an integral part, as the running backs really are complementary pieces to him, and we see that exactly again. A quarterback keeper, and that's going to be an easy 1st down as he is brought down just shy of the 45-yard line. Now, the ball did come loose, but it looks like Lynbrook recovered, so they're going to be able to extend this drive.
Boy, this is, you know, old David Yaker's beard's a lot more gray than I remember it when he was a kid, but this is going to bring out more grays. They've got to control the ball. They've got to get that ball security.
I'm actually surprised that Cold Spring Harbor didn't recover that based on where it bounced. So they're going to set up a screen, and that is going to fall incomplete. They were trying to get Agwu, and it seemed, Kevin, he didn't want any part of the football as a defender was right in his vicinity.
Well, I think what he realized is how well John Ficara came up and read that. Boy, he got underneath that stalk block so fast, and he was sensing that there wasn't a lot to be gained in catching that one.
So under the circumstances, better to just keep it at the line of scrimmage as opposed to lose a few. A high snap, they give it back to Potash, and Potash is bulldozed and brought down. Jaden Saunders from behind, making sure that that play ended abruptly.
Boy, the Seahawks have really stepped it up in these last two plays. And that simple drop right there and play on the edge has lit a little spark in this team.
So it's going to be 3rd and 10 for Lynbrook. As they put Miles Storm in motion. He is their usual slot wide receiver, a very slippery fella. And Samuelson hesitating on the throw. He's going to take off, and he's going to be brought down. Yanni Dolores, their defensive end, again with quite the statement for the Seahawks defense.
Wow, talk about a big play. Talk about, you let Chase out of the bag, and you've got real problems on your hand. We go back to that Baker Mayfield analogy regarding the Lynbrook quarterback. That was a huge open field tackle by the Seahawks.
So they're going to bring their punting unit out, and we're going to see Philip DeJalowski. And this is going to take a bounce. And a return here for Cold Spring Harbor is going to be short-lived as Dylan Riley tried to make something out of that as he crossed the 30-yard line.
Excellent play by Dylan. Outstanding job of playing that bounce because that ball was going to continue to roll down to the 5-yard line. I would say to some of our kids at Cold Spring Harbor, watch those downfield tackles. Blocks. Let's not get the referees involved in this game. You can't afford to lose anything. Fumbles, penalties, interceptions is the difference in every football game.
Well, we've already seen a lost fumble in this game. Lynbrook actually has put the ball on the ground twice, but they only wound up coughing it up once. As Cold Spring Harbor now coming back out, their first drive ended after they were looking to run the football, and Lynbrook's defensive line did not allow much of anything, and the same result here as Cody just has no holes to work with. There is a flag, though, on the play.
Today's white hat is Mr. Mike Terrasiano, and Mike and I have been friends. We've had a relationship, good and bad, for over 30 years, and he is one of the top lacrosse officials in the county, one of the top football officials in the county, and this entire crew is also a group of veterans. What I like about crews like this, they're not looking to get involved in this game. They're going to call what they have to and let the kids play.
So the holding call backs them up 10 yards. It's now going to be 1st and 20 for Cold Spring Harbor. And they're going to try to maneuver their way out of this. As Rex O'Connor trying to buy some time, and with momentum going away from him, he dumps it off right into the hands of Jaden Saunders to get back some of that yardage.
What a job. Not only by Rex, but of Jaden to keep this play alive. Some people will say, well, we're still double sticks. It's 2nd and 12. It was 2nd and 20 earlier when we were ready to take a sack. Really, really great effort by both of those kids.
And a nice job by Saunders to slide in as the ball was about to hit the turf. Saunders, not known for his receiving skill set, more of a runner, but coming through with a heroic effort to now make it 2nd and 12 here. And they're going to run up the middle here out of a bit of a wildcat formation. As Rex O'Connor was pushed back yet again, run game just has not been able to find spots thus far.
Well, there's one big problem for the run game for Cold Spring Harbor, and that's Lynbrook's number 74, Alex Ayanu. Alex, he is a big body, and I just watched him on a couple of plays earlier, and definitely that play. He is playing with a motor today. Very, very hard to move, and he's got great recovery ability.
junior defensive tackle, 5'10", 305 he stands. Off the play action, O'Connor trying to extend this play, and he's going to throw towards the sideline, and that is going to be caught for a first down. What a grab by Jack Willihan, their top wide receiver.
This is a beautiful example of a bootleg pass. You know, sometimes bootleg passes can be so predictable, but I'll tell you what, Chase gets Rex gets the depth that he needs, gets his eyes up the field, and a beautiful strike thrown on the sideline. Well executed offensive play by the Seahawks.
Willihan and O'Connor worked together all offseason to get on the same page, and that chemistry is absolutely paying off. So they overcome the holding penalty with under 20 seconds to go here in the first quarter, and that looks like that is going to be it. Not going to try to force the envelope and press things, as that is one quarter in the books. And we are still scoreless here in Cold Spring Harbor between the Seahawks and the Owls on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Now's your chance to score a touchdown with Varsity Media's ISO video. Video footage that focuses on your athlete only. Perfect for recruiting reels. Spots are limited, so reach out today. Email jeff@varsitymedia.net to book your next ISO video with Varsity Media.
So the start of the second quarter here in Cold Spring Harbor, New York, still scoreless between Lynbrook and Cold Spring Harbor, as the Seahawks are in possession, and they just overcame a holding penalty. It was 1st and 20. It looked like it was going to be 2nd and 20 with a sack, and Dylan Riley changed the trajectory of this current drive.
Yeah, you know, I have my son, he's a varsity, Kevin Dolan, he's a varsity football coach over at Floral Park. And he asked me, how's the game going? I go, it's hard to, there's no answer. It's two very evenly matched teams. Very evenly matched teams, two teams that are very different. But they're really battling here.
And you could say every football game is about the trenches, but this one in particular is being defined, especially Lynbrook's defensive line, which has forced Rex O'Connor to make consistent plays with his arm. They go back to the ground, and Cody, you're going to see, gang tackled and pulled down Alex Vitale right there in the middle.
Another defensive lineman, a big boy here. Number 72, R.J. Tinius. Oh, man alive. Did he get off the football right there and pull that running back straight back? Beautiful play by him.
Also saw Tony Lazary for the defensive line for Lynbrook. It was 55 against 55, essentially, in the trenches.
Yeah, a lot of fives out there.
So 2nd and 9 coming up here for the Seahawks.
These are the situations, and it's not a complaint or a criticism, but these down and distances are the situations Cold Spring is trying to stay out of. Big chunk plays are not something that they really do right now.
And they're going to hand it off again. This is Roy Testa. And again, it's the defensive line that wins that battle inside.
You know, we go back to that bootleg pass. Well, look at this Lynbrook defensive line. Look how they close down and make those big plays. Michael Abantuno, wonderful job of getting inside and pulling him back.
He has a team-high 4 sacks coming in on the season. And they're going to give him 1 yard on that run. It's now 3rd and 8.
What Lynbrook's done right now is they've put Cold Spring Harbor and any other team in this situation in a very predictable set.
Quarterback keeper for O'Connor. And O'Connor is able to get across midfield and enter Lynbrook territory.
This is a great play call. This is not what I predicted or expected, So, you know what? You've got to try and run this stuff. You've got to try and see if you can break Chase Cody or, obviously, Rex O'Connor for that big 20-yard run.
As we saw Abentantuno involved in that tackle again. So here's 4th and 6. As Cold Spring Harbor right now is looking like they're going to run an offensive play. And O'Connor is going to take a shot deep down the field. Ben Stark cannot haul it in, and it falls incomplete, and a turnover on downs.
What a beautiful pass by Rex O'Connor. You know, Rex doesn't throw a lot of balls this season. It's just not what they do. But this is a great job under pressure of setting his feet and dropping this one right in the bucket. You know, Lance, Ben Stark had his hands full trying to make that catch. That was not an easy catch. But that was a great example of football play.
So Lynbrook stopping the run and forcing O'Connor to again try to navigate things up the field. And here's now the Owls offense with great field positioning on their own 49. And their quarterback is going to look to run and spin out of traffic as he gets to the 45-yard line in Cold Spring Harbor territory.
Those of you at home, this formation's called a bunch formation, where you take these wide receivers, bring them in tight, and bunch them together. It does two things. Versus man-to-man coverage, very hard to pick up numbers. Versus the run, you get lost in all that blocking.
And the running game starting to churn out positive yardage here for Lynbrook. That's Paolo Pileski, their backup running back, who is 3rd in carries and rushing touchdowns.
Boy, Paulo is the backup running back, but Paulo is a starter at a lot of schools. Paulo's having a great season, and it's provided an excellent 1-2 punch between himself and Potash.
So a fresh set of downs here with 8.5 minutes to go. They give it to Pileski. He finds the edge and gets down near the first down marker with a nice chunk there on their first down run.
And as you can see, folks, you got that bunch formation. They go to the quick pitch. All these defenders are trapped inside, and Paulo gets himself a little bit of pain.
When he can get into the open field, he is elusive and dangerous. 2nd and 3. And they're going to work Pileski again, and this time wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. May have lost a yard.
Nice fill by linebacker Roy Testa. Way to get his hat up in there fast. As you know, we're still early in this game. The Cold Spring Harbor defense is an interesting group. They bend, and then all of a sudden they say that's enough, and they put the brakes on Lynbrook.
So 3rd and 1 for Lynbrook. Can they move the chains and keep this drive alive? Samuelson finds an opening, and he's going to zigzag through to move the chains.
Coach Yeager has found the formation that he likes, and right now Cold Spring Harbor is not quite sure how they want to defend it. They're outmanned in the blocking. Cold Spring Harbor is trying to decide how deep do we want to play our defensive backs without giving up a deep ball.
Samuelson faking the pitch. He's going to throw over the middle into the end zone, and it's incomplete. Nearly intercepted, intended for Tim O'Daya.
Deep ball. I just said it. This is the first prediction I've had right this season, Lance, and we see it right there. You know, once again, Cold Spring Harbor, you know, how much running room can you give them? How many yards can you give them? So they start playing a little bit tighter, then Lynbrook goes deep.
Seahawks safety G. Pace had a chance for the pick, went right through his hands. So here is 2nd and 10. And Samuelson is going to hand the ball off to Pileski. And Pileski tried to cut back right, and he ran into Ben Stark.
Wow, that was a great block. It was a great pull block by Giovanni. I'm sorry, folks. Giovanni Grullon. Great job of getting out there and getting a hand on somebody. And an awesome job of Pileski. He gets stuffed, bounces off, and tries to get a little bit something out of it. Cold Spring is getting stingy.
So 3rd and 11 now for the Owls in a scoreless affair here in the second quarter. And again, right at the point of contact, Alex Vitale meets Pileski.
This is some game. Every time an offense breaks the 25-yard line, it becomes like a Bermuda Triangle. Defenses on both sides toughen up, and things start to stall.
So they're going to keep their offense out, as it appears right now, on a 4th and 10. As both teams trying to solve the end zone. Samuelson, he's going to look to take a shot towards the corner, and Odaya can't haul it in, but pass interference looks like that is the call, as Dylan Riley was defending.
Going to be interesting to see, Lance, who this penalty is on. A lot of contact going both ways. A lot of equal pressure, I think, going both ways. This is important. All right. Win against the Seahawks.
So they got it against Riley.
And because the ball's outside the 20, it's going to be the full 15 yards. That's a big penalty.
I think what hurt Riley, Kevin, from that play was he never looked back at the football when he was defending Odaya.
Absolutely. You know, and for these officials, as I said earlier, Lance, they're not looking to get involved in this game, but there are certain tells that they're looking for.
So now it looks like there were 2 penalties, and they're going to offset one another.
So they are going to bring the chains back, and it's going to be, I believe, 4th down again? 4th and 10?
It was 4th and 10.
Yeah. You know what? To a fan, this whole exchange looked awkward, and it looked like the officials are being indecisive. That's not really true. They got together, they took their time, and I think they got this one right. Not that that's a surprise, but this one they got right.
So Dylan Riley now off the hook, and it won't be favorable field positioning for Lynbrook, as they have Michael Potash in the backfield. And again, Samuelson's going to look to take a shot towards the corner, and dropped by Odaya, with Riley trailing on the play.
You know, as we say every week, Lance, we're not rooting for either team, but I have to admit as a coach, I feel a little bit bad for Timmy. That one's going to beat him up. Beautiful, beautiful pass by Chase, and he's going to make up for that later on the game. We've seen that before.
Odaya with 4 touchdowns to lead the team this season. Nearly had his 5th. He's 2nd on the team and 6th in the county in receiving yards. But they could not capitalize, and as a result, Seahawks will now take over, as this has been a game of inches and fingertips. So here's O'Connor. And O'Connor, he's going to look to air it out. Deep down the field to Dylan Riley. Riley in stride, has one man to beat, and Dylan Riley takes it to the house for the first touchdown of this game. Riley with his first score of the season, And the man who was a spectator last year is putting his name back on the map to strike gold for Cold Spring Harbor.
Welcome back to football, Dylan. All right, Dylan took some time off to nurse an injury. He's primarily a lacrosse player, but wow, right here, he's all football player. Look at him open up his legs and get down that field, and that is a huge score for his team, all right, and a giant energy burst.
So they'll now look to tack on the extra point with Ben Stark. Connell Reynolds is the holder. And Stark puts it through to make it 7-0. And that is how quickly a football game changes. A drop in the end zone and then a home run on the opposite side.
And wow, was that close on the extra point. Chris Mangieri, oh baby, he must have felt the wind of that ball go past his fingertips.
And every point seems like it could add up
well,
as it comes at the premium.
There's plenty of time left in this half, plenty of time for actually both teams to score. And speaking of time, I want to give a big shout out to our timekeeper up here, veteran official, Mr. Dave Camlett, been an official for over 100 years. And he is a great colleague of mine from Lynbrook High School. He was a mentor of mine, and he's an outstanding professional. Dave, thank you for all your service.
Now, do you want to date yourself how much you've been involved within that century?
Well, if Dave's 100 years, I'm definitely in the 70s.
So Ben Stark is going to kick off after kicking the extra point. And Lynbrook now in a trailing position trying to get a special teams explosive play to jumpstart their offenses. They just have had a bunch of missed opportunities here. And a low squib kick. And it's going to be fielded, and this is going to be a nice return by Lynbrook. Scala gets across midfield into Cold Spring Harbor territory.
You know, as bad as you feel when somebody scores against you and scores big, like on that big pass, this brings you back. It wipes those emotions away and reminds you that you're a great football team. And leadership like Mr. Scala right there, that's exactly what does it.
So now it's a matter of if Samuelson and company can take full advantage. They only have half the field that they have to conquer. And they're going to go with a run to Potash. A flag comes in as he dives.
You know, holding is not just about what the team does. It's about how you sell it. And Jaden actually did a great job of selling that hold against them. Bring it in the field, Judge. Find that interesting. Maybe there's a couple of other things going on out here.
And it is going to be a hold, and it's going to go against Lynbrook. So you can wipe out the Potash run.
What's interesting, Lance, is that when I'm watching the replay of that play, you know, technically, it really wasn't an egregious hold. It wasn't that bad. But Jaden won himself an Academy Award as well there, throwing his hands up, screaming, oh, my goodness, and was able to draw it. And that's part of sports. That's the gamesmanship.
So 1st and 20. As they put Odaya in motion, they hand it off to him on the jet sweep. He reverses, and he now has open space on the left side, makes a man miss, another man. He's out, up the sideline, not tripped up yet, and gets taken down at the 15. What an effort by Tim Odaya to turn absolutely nothing into something.
I was just about to shout out what a great job Cold Spring Harbor does against the jet sweep. And look at this second, third, fourth effort by Odaya. Outstanding play and great job of the downfield blockers staying involved.
And the Seahawks take a timeout as they want to talk things over. So Lynbrook threatening in the red zone. with them trailing 7-0 here in Cold Spring Harbor, New York, on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
So Tim Odaya went from the right side all the way to the left side to help them make up for that holding call. And now, again, Lynbrook knocking on the door. It's a matter of whether or not they could finish.
What's been a football game of two strong teams probing each other and poking each other has all of a sudden in the last 2.5 minutes exploded. It's been an explosion of big plays, second efforts, and a lot of courageous actions by players on both teams.
Dylan Riley with the lone score in this game for Cold Spring Harbor. And Samuelson with his team threatening in the red zone and not going anywhere on that one. Yanni Delaris with the tackle.
Yeah, that was not the play Lynbrook wanted. I mean, it was the call that they wanted, but there was a little bit of action on that exchange that made it very quirky.
Michael Potash in the backfield for the Owls. On a 2nd and 8, and Potash is going to get the handoff. And again, taken down Alex Vitale, who we've mentioned more often than not.
Yeah, look at Alex. Look at him using that long wingspan to get on those legs. And you know what? This kid, it's starting to become really evident to me. Number 44, Roy Testa, bringing a lot of leadership out there, making a lot of plays for the Seahawks as well.
So 3rd and 5 for the Owls. And it is going to be a quarterback keeper. And here's Samuelson, and he's going to try to get the edge, and he's going to be down at the 1 with, again, Yanni Delaris wrapping him up from behind.
Really great job. Again, that's a true RPO. The coaches are not telling him what to do. And wonderful job over here by Chris O'Donnell of getting a nice block and keeping his hips running.
1st and goal, and it's a keeper and a walk-in touchdown for Samuelson. His 6th of the season, and they're an extra point away from tying this game.
You know, what did we see there? We saw R.J. Tinyas and Tony Lazary just say, you know what, let's end this right now, put it in the end zone, and they dropped it down into low gear and really pushed.
So here is Philip DeJalowski, junior kicker, to try to tie this game. And that is right through the uprights with Miles Storm holding perfectly to make it a 7-7 knot. And with that, we'll step aside from Cold Spring Harbor, New York on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And Kevin, on that last drive, it was about the quarterback's legs. He had that run that put him down within the 1, and then they turned back to him to finish it off with a touchdown.
It really was, and you know what? He is what Lynbrook needs. He's that grizzled old veteran sitting on the side of his foxhole telling stories to the other soldiers about how they did it in the old days. He knows what it is to battle. He knows what it is to have to make those big plays at certain times.
So that is Thomas Dunn kicking off. And Dylan Riley is going to try to navigate traffic, and Riley is wrapped up and taken down as he crossed the 35-yard line.
Well, great example of team tackling by the Lynbrook kickoff team. And I'll tell you what, seeing Dylan Riley holding that ball again sure does bring a lot of extreme emotions, adrenaline moments for the Owls. When he caught that ball, he dropped that down into a gear that I'm not even sure he knew he had.
That was Marco Pileski that was able to record the tackle. Their linebacker playing defense and special teams. So Rex O'Connor and company trying to respond to the Lynbrook touchdown drive that was set up because of a nice special teams return by Scala. Chase Cody in the backfield is met with heavy artillery, especially R.J. Tignes, who was able to smash him down into the ground.
Yeah, look at R.J., boy. He fires all rockets on that one, and he has every right to be excited. That was a great body tackle.
Second and 10.
Boy, these big boys, these two tackles from Lynbrook, you got both Tignes and who's our other kid? You got Alex Ayanu. Very athletic for bigger kids. Sometimes, the bigger kids can be a bit more lumbering. These guys can run. They can move.
And they're both juniors, so they'll be back next season as O'Connor dumps it off, and that is going to be right near the first down marker. Wheelahan able to haul it in.
Rex O'Connor connects with number
Boy, they got this
13,
play action
Jack
pass
Wheelahan.
going. Great job, great catch. Off the edge and a stretch for a first down. They don't get that first down without that extra effort and stretch at the end.
And initially it looked like maybe he was going to bobble it and not secure it. So a nice job by him to locate it, secure it, and then move the chains.
I do like how Coach Mandreski is changing up his plays. Teams that play like Cold Spring Harbor.
As O'Connor is just going to dump it off to Cody, and Cody nearly has his helmet taken off there by Pileski, still fighting, and that is going to set up a manageable second down.
Teams like Cold Spring Harbor that play this style of football can become very predictable. It's unavoidable. See this? Oh, look at this. Nice and short. Get underneath the linebackers and let your athletes do the work. Really, really great touch by Rex right there. Wonderful job.
As Mark Kanaki was able to clean it up after Pileski could not finish the job on Cody. So a 6-yard pickup. 2nd and 4 now for the Seahawks. Play action. Pressure being felt. Cody off the screen, and Cody is going to cross the 45-yard line. He was just shy of the first down marker.
Reception again, number 23.
Tell you what, that was a beautifully executed play. But who peels back and makes the backside open field tackle? Big old Alex Ayanu gets himself back involved. That big boy, he can hunt out there.
Well, it's another example of the athleticism, Kevin, that you were referencing, and that's why Lynbrook has really been able to set the tone with their big boys up front, because they can move sideline to sideline as well as north and south, and that has made it difficult for Cold Spring Harbor to run the ball. So it seems as if the counter now to that has been get the running backs out as receivers to try to loosen up the defense.
Yeah, one of the things I really appreciate about these two schools is they have learned how to bring in the multi-sport athletes. And you've got a lacrosse program, an excellent lacrosse program at both schools, excellence in football. They work well together. They're not competing against each other, and they get these kids out for everything. What do you gain? You gain great athletes in football.
So 3rd and 1 for the Seahawks as they try to get on the board late here in the first half. O'Connor trying to survey the field. He's going to take a shot deep down the field, and that is right in the bucket of Jack Willihan for a first down and knock it on the door of the red zone.
I didn't think this game was going to be full of these kind of surprises in the least when I was driving over here. Oh my goodness, it's been one huge play after the next. Look at him. Third time today we've seen him do this.
And they're going to take another shot, and that is going to be incomplete, but a flag comes in as Paolo Pileski was defending on Jack Willihan.
Well, out there in that range, it looks like it's got to be pass interference of some sort. Yep. That's going to be half the distance to the goal. You know, it's short time. It's 33 seconds. But that's plenty of time with the 2 timeouts they have to come out of this with some points. Excuse me, folks. Seahawks have 1 timeout.
So Cold Spring Harbor trying to finish this drive at the tail end of the second quarter and see if they can reclaim the lead. And that timeout gives them the flexibility to run the football here if they choose to, instead of just trying to force it with a throw. And they're going to hand it to Cody. Cody maneuvering up the middle, and he is going to be short of the goal line.
That's a run for number 23, Chase Cody.
So that was the final timeout taken by Cold Spring Harbor with 28 seconds to go. And you've got 2nd and 10 here coming up. And that means that really you're limited in terms of putting the ball in the air.
Well, there's an interesting scenario right now. It's 2nd and a yard. If the Seahawks can get this first down, that's going to stop the clock for about 4 or 5 seconds. It'll automatically rewind. So I would not be surprised that Coach Mandreski right now is putting in 2 plays. One, in case they don't get the first down. Another one in case they do get the first down and want to take a shot.
Because there is risk with the way the running game has been going thus far in this game.
Yeah. You know what? Cold Spring Harbor, I love that they keep running the ball, but it has not been consistent enough.
So they got Roy Testa in out of the backfield, their fullback. And O'Connor is going to hand it to him. He's chugging along here, was wrapped up from behind. This is all based on the spot.
All right, so we got the clock is stopped at 20.9 seconds. They're lined up.
And it looks like a false start. And that is a no-no.
Well, they got to be ready now because after they march off this penalty, Lance, they're going to start this clock again. The kids need to be aware of this. They don't have a lot of time to spend any time to spend in a huddle.
So here is another look at the false start.
And it's running. Yeah, they don't realize it. They may want to clock this ball.
So they got a hustle here on a 1st and goal. And O'Connor with 5 seconds extending the play. He avoids the sack. He's going to throw over the middle. It's deflected and incomplete.
Yeah, you know, we're hearing fans screaming out right now, why did the clock start? Why did the clock start? Because it was supposed to start.
And that is a big missed opportunity for Cold Spring Harbor to walk away with no points inside the 5-yard line. So it's a tie game at 7 between the Seahawks and the Owls as we take another look at Dylan Riley from Rex O'Connor, the home run to put the Seahawks on the board first. Chase Samuelson responding for Lynbrook as we look at the quarterback keeper to tie this game at 7. And that's where we are at the break in Cold Harbor, New York on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
What's up, it's Sean Lights Out Merriman, former Charger and Bill, and you're watching Varsity Media.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net. You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd?
I feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email Ben at varsitymedia.net. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Now's your chance to score a touchdown with Varsity Media's ISO video. Video footage that focuses on your athlete only. Perfect for recruiting reels. Spots are limited, so reach out today. Email Jeff at varsitymedia.net to book your next ISO video with Varsity Media. Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing Ben at varsitymedia.net.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports. Hey parents, coaches, and players, ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
It's been great for us. The kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosted the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media is reliable, professional, and the quality work is fantastic. It's like watching ESPN. The announcers are unreal, really do a great job of speaking to the coaches to get the knowledge of the players the season, what's going on with the team. There is nothing better than Varsity Media doing a live broadcast.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email ben@varsitymedia.net. You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job of exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media's been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And it's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City!
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Now's your chance to score a touchdown with Varsity Media's ISO video. Video footage that focuses on your athlete only. Perfect for recruiting reels. Spots are limited, so reach out today. Email jeff@varsitymedia.net to book your next ISO video with Varsity Media. Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports. Hey parents, coaches, and players, ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
It's been great for us. You know, the kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosts the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media is reliable, professional, and the quality work is fantastic. It's like watching ESPN. The announcers are unreal, really do a great job of speaking to the coaches to get the knowledge of the players, the season, what's going on with the team. There is nothing better than Varsity Media doing a live broadcast.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
So we're back here in Cold Spring Harbor, New York. The Seahawks won the toss, elected to defer. So they're going to get the ball to start the third quarter with the game tied at 7. In this battle of Nassau County, 4-2 teams, a critical game in terms of the rankings and the standings. And Dylan Riley with the big home run touchdown for Cold Spring Harbor. And Samuelson, the quarterback for the Owls, running it in for Lynbrook. That is how we are tied at 7. And it is going to be Thomas Dunn kicking off for the Owls.
I've always been a big fan of mascots, and this is truly becoming a battle of the birds. And I think this half, we're going to see feathers flying everywhere.
As Dunn sends it in play here for Cold Spring Harbor, and that is a hard hit. As Cold Spring Harbor was trying to once again gain some favorable field positioning, but could not take advantage with Andrew Bauer.
Kudos to Andrew Bauer on that carry. I think he knew that was coming as well. He lowered his pads and hoped he could maybe break an arm tackle, and there was no arm tackle right there. That was some punch by Lynbrook.
So the Seahawks, who had a great opportunity right at the end of the second quarter but could not punch it in, going to try to make up for it here to start the third. And it's going to be a run play here. Cody out wide, looking for the edge. He's got it, and he'll be dragged down inside the 40-yard line by Mark Chinaki.
Yes, what a block, folks. If you can see right over here, Dennis Kiley, number 27. Check him out on the edge. Pancake. Oh, man alive. Kept his hands inside, and great job by Cody of getting the extra yards. That's the way to come out. You know, you've chosen to defer. You want to do something with this possession. Great way for Cold Spring Harbor to come out in this half.
So that was good enough for a first down. And they'll operate with Cody in the backfield once again, with Testa operating as the fullback. This time they go opposite side. Cody's got the edge again, and he gets across midfield with another nice run on first down.
And once again, we see, well, the entire offensive line, but you see Kiley out there just causing havoc with his open field blocking. Open field blocking, gang, is almost as difficult to do as it is to open field tackle. Great job. I'm a little surprised, Lance, to see Cold Spring Harbor coming out in this power football formation, but I'll tell you what, it's working for them.
Well, they've run the ball effectively in the first two plays here in the second half, more so than the entire first half combined. And here's another nice run as they continue to mix in the personnel. Dennis Kiley with his first carry.
That was a very interesting play. For you folks at home who like the minutia, that was a power eye formation. Normally, you'd give that ball to the tailback. Cold Spring Harbor gave it to the power back, the kid that's a little closer to the line and he's offset. Unusual, and I think what they're saying is maybe he's not accounted for.
Well, I love minutia just as much as I love whether feathers are plucked more from Seahawks or Owls, Kevin. So
I think I've only used minutia in a sentence about 3 times in my life.
I am all for that. I'm going to look for a third today as Cody falls forward as he was trying to solve the left side.
Now that's more of the traditional power eye play. It's called an ice or a blast. And get that ball to Cody and get him north. But as we see, that huge Lynbrook defensive line it never disappoints. Those guys start tightening up.
Tinyes and Ianu have been all over the place. And that is why in the first half it had been a nightmare for the Seahawks to run the ball. Different story, though, with them finding the edges here in the third quarter. Doing heavy lifting again in the backfield. Cody is going to get a few yards before he was wrapped up, as we saw Chris Somers in on the stop.
To your point a little earlier, Lance, you know, these may not seem like real sexy big plays by Cold Spring Harbor, but they are moving the ball. They are moving that box, which is the yard marker. They're moving the ball, and that does dig into the gas tank of the defense. A lot harder, energy-wise, to play defense than it is offense.
So 3rd and 6 coming up here for the Seahawks. As it has been Cody, Testa, and Kylie. And here is Cody again. Now he's going to be shy of the first down marker as he gets inside the 40. But they're going to keep their offense here out on the field.
Absolutely agree that in this series that this is a 2-down territory situation. But I would say that Coach Mandreski is feeling a little bit of a knot in his gut. 4th and 3 is a long one. Wouldn't be surprised, Lance, if we see some.
Rex O'Connor is dragged down by Chris Somers for a turnover on downs. The linebacker with really back-to-back impressive plays.
Boy, Chris, that was one timely play by Chris. And he got back there and got a hold of that jersey and just sank his hips down. Beautiful play. Extremely, watch this. Watch Chris Somers get in there. Just what linebackers are supposed to do. It's called clear and cloudy. And he sees that clear, goes flying through it, and gets himself inserted into the backfield.
So Cold Spring Harbor turned it over on downs and opportunities at the end of the second quarter. Third quarter, unfortunately, they followed the same script. And here comes Lynbrook.
Still a very successful series by Cold Spring. They took a little more than 6 minutes off the clock. Got a lot of yardage on this. Good field position.
As they're going to hand it off. And Potash is just fighting his will, as that was a battle between him and Willihan.
I love watching young Mr. Potash run. He's not, I wouldn't call him extremely fast. I mean, he's fast. He's got 3 speeds, though, and he uses them. And he sits back behind those blockers. He puts his hand on their back and waits for that soft spot. Very mature running. Outstanding play.
So he got 4 yards on that tough run. Here's Odaya, and Odaya up the edge is going to get a first down and then some as they use Tim's big 6-foot frame to glide through the open space.
Lynbrook does love this jet sweep. And again, they do an excellent job of also blocking on the perimeter. Trying to find out who that is. Who is that kid? That's old number 18. That's Pete Rayonitis out there. Great extension, great block.
So here is Samuelson, and he is going to dump it off and find Miles Storm, their slot receiver, for yet another first down. So they are utilizing their wideouts on consecutive plays.
I'll tell you, Lance, I would never second-guess Coach Yeager or Coach Mandreski, of course, but that is a beautiful spiral that he just threw. Got that out to the edge. I almost wonder why we haven't seen more of that throughout this game.
Well, they're now dialing it up. Odaya on the left, Storm on the right. And here's a fresh set of downs for the Owls.
Timmy Odaya very deep in the backfield here. I wonder if he's going to be getting involved.
And they fake the handoff to him and give it to Potash. And that is a really strong play by Jaden Saunders to tackle him in the open field.
Ooh, boy, oh boy, that's going to leave a mark in the morning. Look at this tackle, high and low, and wow, and they just finish it off. Great job. Thank goodness it was Mike Potash. He is one tough kid.
So the clock ticking away here in the third as we approach 5.5 minutes. This will be a quarterback keeper for Samuelson as he goes left to right and gets brought down at the 20-yard line.
Boy, Chase can lull you to sleep. You know, Sometimes I forget about the Mayfield-esque aspects of Chase, and then he pulls it back out and comes up with a timely play like that.
So a pickup of 9, 3rd and 1 to move the chains, and they're going to get that easily with a handoff to Potash. And they are now in the red zone looking to move back in front.
Excellent push by Cap at center. Potash gets himself really slid in underneath there. Like what Coach Yaker's doing right now. He's slowing it down a little bit. Let's make sure everybody's on the same page.
Samuelson, quick release, and a deflection right at the line of scrimmage. A heads-up play by Ben Stark.
Yeah. And going back to Coach Yaker and his slowing things down, this is the kind of play that keeps you up at night because that smells of pick six.
Stark anticipated that it was going to be a quick throw in the exact direction.
You know, Ben, a veteran of last year's outstanding playoff team. Ben, an outstanding lacrosse player here at Cold Spring Harbor. He knows what's going on.
So another quarterback keeper, Samuelson, that favorite move left to right. And he's going to be right near the first down marker. All depends on the spot here. As he was able to navigate the traffic, and it's going to be short. It's going to be an 8-yard gain, so it'll be 3rd and 2.
So interesting, Lance. What looks like a very simple junior high football play. If you've got them outnumbered, it's the play you should run all the time. Love that quarterback keep.
Well, there's a big reason why he came in with over 500 rushing yards on the season. As he is on his way to 600, Potash is sent the opposite way. Lucas Sliwak getting down and dirty.
There's a reason Sliwak's the captain. Oh, man, he sent a message. Watch this linebacker slip in there. Oh, and he delivers a message, setting up a big 4th down decision for the Owls.
So 4th and 2. You got the quarterback under center, and they're going to try on a QB sneak, and the second effort gave him the first down.
My apologies, Lance. I'm chattering over you doing your play-by-play because that was just an exciting second effort by Chase.
And here we'll take another look. You see, he's wrapped up on the ground, but he gets out of the grasp of Sliwak.
Beautiful second effort. And you know what? Honestly, beautiful second effort by that center guard combination inside.
So Chase already has a rushing touchdown in this game, perhaps looking for another. Instead, he's going to hand it off to Potash, and that pile is going to move forward into the end zone for a touchdown as Lynbrook jumps in front with a 6-point run. And it was in piecemeal, but they got it done with their conventional backs and their quarterback.
Yep, and I love the aspect of part of this game that they threw the ball, not because they had to, they threw the ball because they wanted to, loosen things up again, and just kept it simple in the run game.
So the extra point here by Philip Djalowski. And that is going to make it 14-7 in favor of Lynbrook as the Owls are able to march down the field with the legs of their quarterback, and then Michael Potash finishing the job. Lynbrook in control of this one with just over 2.5 minutes to go in the third on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now's your chance to score a touchdown with Varsity Media's ISO video. Video footage that focuses on your athlete only. Perfect for recruiting reels. Spots are limited, so reach out today. Email jeff@varsitymedia.net to book your next ISO video with Varsity Media.
So Lynbrook moves in front with the Michael Potash rushing touchdown. That was his 7th of the season. That leads the team. And now they will be kicking off to Cold Spring Harbor, which we've seen produce some dangerous returns, specifically with Dylan Riley, number 21, who is one of the players that is back there to receive it, as Thomas Dunn will kick off.
When I started this work, Lance, I promised myself I was never going to be critical of the kids or the coaches. But you know what, Cold Spring guys? Watch that body language. You are playing a great football game. Believe in yourselves. It's a new series.
And this return opportunity for the Seahawks is going to be brought out to the 35-yard line, as that was Rob Lund.
And that's a great job by Rob, but, that's how you turn body language around. You're never out of this thing, especially with the coaching and the ability that this Cold Spring team has.
And they relied heavily on the run game on their last drive, but unfortunately wound up turning it over on downs as Rex O'Connor kept it on that 4th down. And Lynbrook won the battle in the trenches yet again. So you've got Cody in the backfield. And O'Connor is going to try to kick it out there to Dylan Riley. And it's incomplete, too wide.
That was an important pass to complete, not simply because obviously you want to complete passes, but Cold Spring Harbor needs to keep themselves out of as many 2-down and 3rd and 6+ situations as possible. Has not been their strong suit today. Obviously, that's because of Lynbrook.
So Lynbrook showing some pressure and a handoff to Cody. And you saw that Chris Somers met him right at the point of attack.
Wow. Huge play and a finish. Somers, what a great job of getting underneath and engaging. And I got to point out, the kid is impressing me. Is number 45, Mark Chinaki. Great job of getting upfield and finishing that play off. Extremely aggressive football.
Well, he's another one of their linebackers. Is one of the things David Yeager talked about was all 3 of them, Marco Pileski too, they're all interchangeable. They can play him inside, they can play him outside. It makes no difference. They're all effective, and we're seeing that front and center.
It's so great because if you have an injury, the guy who comes in may not be as interchangeable as you need, and the rest of the guys can pull up the slack.
So here's a 3rd and 10 off a play action. O'Connor using his legs, and he's not going to get the edge. The aforementioned Mark Chinaki.
Beautiful effort by Rex here. He gets outside. He gets stuffed in here, but pulls inside the seam. That is not easy to do. Love the way he decided to keep that ball and just gain some yards.
So 4th and 5 for Cold Spring Harbor. They've got their punter, Ben Stark, out there, as they're not going to take any chances here, given the field positioning. And Stark lets it rip. So Scala is going to just let it roll just across the 20-yard line.
It's something that's been happening. You see it in the pros and in college. Very mature play by Ben Stark. For those of you who noticed, he didn't get a lot of pressure, so he held on to that ball before he punted it. Let the coverage team get down there. Keep the pressure on those Lynbrook athletes. That was a really important play right there.
So 37 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter, and Lynbrook has an opportunity to pad its lead. Last possession, it was a Michael Potash rushing touchdown, his 7th of the season. And Cold Spring Harbor had trouble containing the legs of the quarterback, Chase Samuelson. And Samuelson is going to keep it again off the left side, and he is going to get near the 1st down marker. Another nice pickup on first down, as that has been his signature move.
Very frustrating for a defense, very frustrating for a defensive coordinator when, as I said earlier, a very simple play is killing you. They're ripping these guys right now for 6 to 8 yards at a clip. They need to come up with an answer to this play.
They gave him 9 yards on that run, so 2nd and 1. They go to the conventional run game, and Potash trying to dive forward. And based on where they positioned it, that is going to be good for a first down.
Well, the way this game is going, for both teams, we're seeing a lot of running. Time is starting to become a real enemy for the Seahawks, and it's becoming an enemy a lot earlier than we see in many other football games. Cold Spring Harbor needs to be aware of that. They need to be aware of the clock. They could really use a turnover.
Because all Lynbrook has to do is run the football. So it is the Owls moving in front here in the third quarter as Michael Potash able to punch it right up the gut. And it's a 14-7 Lynbrook lead here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
School sports fans. Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
Start of the fourth quarter here in Cold Spring Harbor, New York, with Lynbrook in possession and continuing to milk the clock with the run game. It's the combination of Potash as well as Samuelson.
We're not there yet, but in about 2 or 3 minutes, about 3 minutes, Cold Spring Harbor's got to start to go into next level defense, punching at that football, see if we can get it loose. There's a flag here. It's usually a hold. That's the kind of stuff that's going to help them.
Yeah, that was Ben Stark that was grabbing the jersey of Samuelson as he slid into the 40.
Lynbrook run, number 2, Chase Samuelson. There is a flag on the play.
But Lynbrook is backing itself up, knowing that there's a little bit too much activity up front.
Yeah, Grant Peely really did a great job at getting off the football and into the backfield, and they pull. You could see right in the middle there, they pull him down to the floor. Umpire was all over that one.
So that'll make it 1st and 20. And they've been able to overcome similar circumstances earlier this game. Here's a little play action, and a short pass is not going to go anywhere for Pileski, as Jaden Saunders was able to meet him and prevent him from getting yak.
Boy, we're seeing from both of these teams a beautiful example of linebacker play all day long today. And between Saunders, Lund, and Testa, these kids are all over the field. Very dynamic play, very timely play.
Their athleticism has been the key in the middle of the field. Here is Odaya on another jet sweep. And again, it is the middle and front 4 of this defense for Cold Spring Harbor. That was Lucas Sliwak.
What you're seeing right now, what we're all seeing right now, is we're seeing a major scheme change by the Seahawks. The Seahawks have said they've got great coverage now to stop that quarterback sweep and jet sweep, and they're daring Lynbrook to throw the ball.
Yeah, we have not seen them get Agwu involved, who's one of the best receivers in Nassau County. Instead, it's the running game yet again. And look at Samuelson is still on his feet as he gets down to the 30-yard line.
That was a critical defensive series by Cold Spring Harbor, a well-needed. Look at this. They've got everything covered deep by alignment, and all the guys get in there and make a great team tackle.
So on 4th and 13, it'll be a punt here with Peter Rahaniotis. And he's going to try to flip the field. Here's Dylan Riley. And Riley reverses course, and Riley nearly had the edge before he was gang tackled across the 45.
Now, unlike Ben Stark earlier where he held on to that ball, the Lynbrook punter wanted to get that one off immediately, and it gave I'm sorry, Coach. It gave, Dylan Riley plenty of time to see what was in front of him and really turn that return into something special.
So this is now going to be great starting field positioning for the Seahawks as they're right around midfield thanks to Riley's effort following the punt. That got some good air time, but did not give enough for Lynbrook's defenders to get down the field and slow down Riley.
I don't think it's too early to say this, Lance, but this may be the game, this series.
Well, Cody gets the handoff, and Cody is wrapped up by Somers from behind.
So fullback trap, and here we come. We get to see that midline play, that fullback trap. Lynbrook, they're just so darn big inside. Those big tackles are they're tough. They're dug in there like a tick, and it's not easy to trap those boys out of there. And their technique, there's a lot of technique that goes into stopping that trap. Their technique is excellent.
So 2nd and 8 here for O'Connor. He's got good time. He's going to take off himself, and O'Connor runs out of play into Lynbrook territory. He's stopped at the 46. So a manageable 3rd down here.
Great decision by Rex to bring that ball down and to run. And as I was saying earlier, it was even a better decision by Rex to make sure that he got out of bounds and keep control of this clock.
They need 3 yards to extend this drive, though they're going to have 2 opportunities regardless based on where this game is. And O'Connor looks left side, and he's able to find Wheelahan, who's come up with big play after big play, and that's another 1st down.
Absolutely love this call by Coach Mendreski. Absolutely love the play by Whalen and Rex to get it done. Very simple. It's a 6-yard hitch. Zip that ball out there, moving the chains. Cold Spring Harbor is in charge right now. They're in charge of the clock. They're in charge of the possession.
Well, one of the things that John Mendreski has emphasized is the fact that Wheelahan is one of the hardest working guys on the roster, and you could tell based on him taking advantage of every angle of this field. This ball is thrown deep into the end zone, and it is going to be incomplete. Oh, it's going to be intercepted, rather. It looked like Dylan Riley had a step on the defense, but it's actually going to be a pick for Lynbrook as we take another look.
Look at this Alcoa fabulous finish right here. Goodness gracious. Beautifully placed pass. Great defensive battle for the ball. Wow. Wow, Brandon Scala. Outstanding job.
So it was basically a jump ball, and Scala won the battle with Riley. And now, with 8 minutes left, Lynbrook takes over. And Kevin, you talked about that possession. Could have been the ball game.
And for those of you at home that are watching this, that was a great decision by the quarterback. It was a great decision. It was actually great execution. Sometimes we forget the defense has a say.
So here is Lynbrook on the ground trying to milk the clock. as they hand it off to Potash.
Well, now's where the pressure starts to build a little bit on Cold Spring Harbor. Clock is definitely not their friend. They need to be careful of timeouts. They can't use any timeouts. They got to save them.
They're going to go short pass, and this is going to move the chains for a first down, getting it to Miles Storm.
Reception to number 1, Miles Storm.
It's an interesting pass to Miles. That was definitely a timing pass. This is something these two kids have been working on. It was thrown well before he finished his route. Not easy to do.
But essentially an extension of the run game, given where geography-wise he was located.
Absolutely. Here's that bunch formation we were talking about earlier.
And it's going to be a quarterback keeper and a nice positive pickup here by Samuelson at the 40.
Chase Samuelson brought down by Dylan Riley, number 21.
Once again, great decision by Chase. It's a true RPO. Pulls that ball. The only thing I would say is I'm sure the Lynbrook coaches upstairs are yelling down to Coach Yaker, tell him to hold on to it. We're seeing a lot of football in there in the pile, and the Seahawks have come to hit today. Can't afford any turnovers.
So the clock ticking away here, 6.5 minutes. And Lynbrook is going to be perfectly comfortable just pounding the rock. Again, Samuelson off the right side. And look at him wiggle through right near midfield for another first down.
Very frustrating. It's a very frustrating play to stop. It's a very frustrating play if you're on defense to accept that you're having difficulty with it, that it's hurting you. Right now for Lynbrook, that single junior high quarterback sweep is winning the game for them. And that's not a critique on Cold Spring Harbor. Lynbrook runs it really well.
It's a little hop, skip, and a jump for their quarterback. There's Lynbrook dominating in the trenches thus far in this quarter. They go back to Potash, and Potash has a hole up the right side. He's got the sideline, and he is going to stay in play. A heads-up move there, just shy of the 20-yard line.
That one's going to come back, Lance.
But there is a flag.
It's funny, too. I don't know if Mike did that on purpose, like he saw that pre-snap, or it was just instinctual. But Cold Spring Harbor was loaded for bear to jump that bunch side of the formation, loaded for bear, and he cuts that back, and it was the parting of the Red Sea. I think we're going to see him do this again.
So we approach 5.5 minutes here. It's going to be 1st and 12.
Very, very fortunate penalty for Cold Spring Harbor. The downside of this is it gives them an extra play now to keep running that clock, which is running right now. We're not in timeout time yet.
And here's another quarterback keeper and a good surge by Samuelson into Cold Spring Harbor territory.
For those of you at home that are wondering about the play clock, the 40-second clock in New York State high school football starts within seconds after the play is over. And, the referees want to make sure there's no flags. They want to make sure that nobody's injured. But then the deepest official, the field judge, starts counting the 40-second clock. 40 seconds is a lot of time.
And Lynbrook trying to take advantage of it every which way, and that is a killer. An offsides penalty on Cold Spring Harbor.
And, this is my mantra every week. Old Lincoln Shaw right there jumped off sides. What was the thing on his mind? Thing on his mind was being a hero and making a play for his team. And unfortunately, that adrenaline rush just took him over at the hips.
And that is going to make the job of the Owls that much easier because now it becomes a 2nd and 2.
Well, we're breaking that 4-minute mark now. Cold Spring can make this play. They may want to think about calling timeout.
And here's going to be Potash. Can he get the edge? No, he can't. Twirled down. And that is shy of the first down marker. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Ben Stark.
Had Ben Stark involved on the stop there.
Owls, 3rd and short.
Big tackle now. It's not going to be enough for Cold Spring to just stop the chains here at 3rd and 2. They need to get something for a loss.
As we now approach 3 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. And it is going to be a keeper for Chase, and that is going to be a first down to reset for the Owls. So a fresh set of downs as they take it inside the 40 to the 39.
And unfortunately, Lance, this is the beginning of the end. Cold Spring Harbor is forced into using a timeout after this play if the clock is live. And then they got to hope for something unexpected. Big penalty, some sort of a turnover, a fumble.
Though Lynbrook has found a way to overcome some of the holding penalties in this game with ease, as they have faced several 1st and 20s. So this one is a 1st and 10. As the clock is under 2.5 minutes. And it is Potash again that tries to climb the ladder. And he's going to pick up nearly 5 yards on that run.
Okay, here's your first timeout.
So a timeout taken by Cold Spring Harbor as we look ahead to the Nassau County playoffs. You can stay locked here to Varsity Media. It's your home for Section 8 football semis. Go to varsitymediapass.com to order. So one of the timeouts taken by Cold Spring Harbor, but the bottom line here, Kevin, is they're going to have to find a way to stop the run and prevent Chase Samuelson, who just seems to have had a field day under these circumstances.
And this is not a suggestion to the Cold Spring Harbor staff, but David Yeager is a gutsy, inventive coach. 2nd down, this is exactly the time where you may want to think about going for a play-action pass. Cold Spring Harbor doesn't have a choice but to really lay out on the run play. They have to stop that. They could break your heart with a play-action pass.
Well, that would be some trickery as we look at the Section 8 leading passers right now, and Chase Samuelson, number 2. As we talked about this off the top of the broadcast, coming in with nearly 1,400 yards through the air.
What a year for Levittown's Tim Stanley, son of Carey head coach Mike Stanley. Timmy, a tremendous athlete, leading that list at quarterback. Good genetics.
2nd and 6 for Lynbrook. And they're going to get back to Potash. And Potash trying to fight his way up the right side.
Number 34, Michael Potash.
So it's going to set up a 3rd and manageable.
Timeout, Seahawks.
And the Seahawks take their 2nd timeout. So that'll leave them with 1.
All right. Well, you know what? Each team is doing the things that they've got to do right now. This is an interesting game. This thing isn't over. I would not go to DraftKings and place a late bet on this one.
Well, you talked about, though, Kevin, that David Yeager may be the type of coach that could look to throw and further move the chains here.
Yeah, not a bad idea. I mean, Cold Spring Harbor has already used 2 timeouts. They've got to sell out on the run. Going to a play-action pass right now would be a gutsy play, and honestly, I think a smart play. They're going to drop back on defense. They're not worried about the Cold Spring run game at this point.
Well, they've got Tim O'Daya, who we've seen make some plays. They've got Miles Storm and Ajiaku, who's had a quiet day mainly because they've relied so heavily on the ground attack.
Yep.
So 3rd and 5. And Chase is going to pitch it out to Potash, and Potash is going to twirl towards the first down marker, and let's see where they spot it. He was able to find a hole, and that is going to be good to move the chains. What a play call, and what a run by Michael Potash to slither through.
And it was actually an important play call by Coach Yeager. At this point, Cold Spring Harbor is mirroring Chase at quarterback. By him pitching the ball, it held a guy in the box and gave them an extra blocker on the edge.
So 1:40 and counting. And just one timeout left by the Seahawks. As Lynbrook trying to end Cold Spring Harbor's 3-game winning streak. And here is Chase. And Chase is going to be brought down from behind, but a near first down run again as he is putting this team on his shoulders. Rob Lund with the tackle.
Lance, as I say every week, the Seahawks from Cold Spring Harbor should be very proud of themselves. We're looking at a team that had a lot of question marks. We're looking at a team that had some difficulty finding themselves in the first 2 weeks, and they've gone on a 3-game winning streak and played a team who has the potential to be outstanding. And we saw some flashes of that with Lynbrook today. Played a team very, very tough to what looks like is going to be a 14-7 finish.
Well, coming into this game, Cold Spring Harbor surrendered just 19 points to their last 3 opponents during the winning streak. Shut out North Shore. Locust Valley had 6. Oyster Bay 13. So it really says a lot about how far their defense has come in the last few weeks. But when you play these low-scoring games, it still puts a lot of pressure on that side of the ball to have to consistently make stops. And that was this type of game today.
What's impressive to me about the Cold Spring Harbor defense today is not only their success on the scoreboard, but for a team again who is young, inexperienced, the leadership that we're seeing out there on that field, you can really see them rallying around each other.
So 1:24 to go, and Cold Spring Harbor out of timeouts. As Lynbrook is in control of this one, and here's Chase again. He's going to go down immediately because he knows the Seahawks can't stop the clock anymore.
Yeah.
And that's just a heads-up play by your quarterback. So it'll be a 3rd and 4 here.
You know what? I think at this point we're going to see Lynbrook saying, you know what, there's a couple of plays left in this game. Let's not have Chase take any more collisions before this thing is over. Sometimes the strangest things do happen.
Well, that's why you have Potash and Pileski.
Yeah, let them get hit. Yeah.
The running backs, let them. They can handle it. And it looks like we're going to have a timeout here by Lynbrook.
Timeout, Lynbrook.
So they're going to talk things over and determine what they want to do here on this 3rd and 4. And we will take a breather as well. 14-7, Lynbrook leading Cold Spring Harbor on the Varsity Media Sports Network. So 3rd and 4, the victory formation, a knee taken, and the final 30 seconds will tick away in this one as Lynbrook just dominated time of possession, dominated field positioning, and relied on that run game, specifically in the form of their quarterback, Chase Samuelson, as they're going to snap Cold Spring Harbor's 3-game winning streak, and they are going to improve to 5-2 on the season, as the dual threat of the Owls quarterback, Kevin, was on full display, and another huge X factor for them.
And you know what? One of the things I did love about Chase's play today is he didn't do more, and I mean this completely positive way. He didn't do more than he had to do. He adjusted to the game, he played the game, and he adopted something new that the coaches stumbled on, that quarterback power, the quarterback sweep, ran it very well. And in my opinion, that's why they won the game today.
Yeah, he could have went for home run after home run. Instead, he played for base hits and doubles. And you know what?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be sexy. You can find a way to win a game like that as well, as this was a grinded-out type of affair here in Cold Spring Harbor, New York. And we take you through some of the highlights from this contest, as it was Lynbrook and Cold Spring Harbor battling back and forth. Dylan Riley with the long touchdown pass from Rex O'Connor to give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. Owls responded with the quarterback keeper as Samuelson and Potash did a lot of the heavy lifting in the trenches to account for their 2 touchdowns. And then the magnificent interception by Scala to prevent the game-tying touchdown, as that is going to wrap things up for us here in Nassau County. Our executive producer, Ben Turchin, technical director, Becca Kazaks, for Kevin Dolan, I'm Lance Meadow, saying so long from Cold Spring Harbor, New York. Final score once again, Lynbrook 14, Cold Spring Harbor 7, as the Owls improve to 5-2. Have a good one.